Okay, as vice chairperson, I'd like to call the Washington Parish Tourism meeting to order for Friday, June the 20th, 2025. Can I get a roll call, please?
Cynthia August.
Here.
Ella Bickham.
Here.
Lorraine Brazil Hall is out. Mark Irvin is out. Edna Kennedy is out. Tanya Sharp
Here.
and Crystal Peterson.
Here.
Okay, we've got a quorum, so we're gonna go ahead and continue. Sister August, can we get an invocation?
Certainly. Merciful Father, we pause. We pause at this time. First of all, we pause to give you the thanks that we know only you deserve. And now, Lord, we ask that you would invoke your presence upon this gathering as we come together as a commission to do the work that we have been called to do as volunteers for Washington Parish. We thank you, Lord. We love you, Lord. We ask now that you would guide our hearts, most of all, guide our thoughts. And then when this meeting is over, we ask your traveling grace back to our homes. For it is in your name that we pray. Amen and amen.
Amen. Amen. Okay, our next item on our agenda is the approval of our previous minutes from May 2025. Did everybody get those minutes in their email?
Yes.
And you had an opportunity to look at them? Were there any questions? Okay, because we have other public participation today, I would like to get a motion to dispense the reading of the minutes and to get a motion to accept those minutes.
So moved that we dispense with the reading of the minutes. Second.
Okay, it has been motioned and moved by a second that we dispense the reading of the May 2025 minutes. Is that the favor? Can I get a roll call count on that?
Cynthia,
Yes.
Ella,
Yes.
Tanya,
Yes.
and Crystal.
Yes.
Okay, it has been moved and approved that we dispense from the reading of the minutes from May 2025. So at this point, I would like to ask if the commission would like to pause right here before we go into any other of our business and get our public
We
participation.
have to get
A motion
a
for,
motion to.
that's what I want
motion
to.
to accept the minutes.
Okay, oh, I'm sorry, I thought I got that.
Yeah, we got it to
Okay,
dispense.
sorry, okay, I would like to get the motion to accept then the reading of the minutes per the vote.
I so move. Minutes be adopted.
There you go, minutes be adopted.
Okay, it has been moved and second that our minutes be adopted, and, we can get a roll call on that if we need to.
Cynthia,
Yes.
Ella,
Here, yes.
Crystal,
Here.
and Tanya.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Now, at that point, to make sure everything is in order, I would like to see if we can get a motion to pause here from our regular business and go into our, public participation, if that is so.
I so move that we, go into public participation at this time.
I second.
Okay, it has been moved and second that we go into our public participation. Reason being, so that if anyone doesn't want to hang around for the rest of our business meeting, you can go, but you still are welcome to hang around for it if you like. So at this point, I'm looking that we do have, someone here from the Washington Parish Watermelon Festival. We also have the Gagliano group, and we also have, some, I guess what you would say, entities that are interested in making Washington Parish the best that it can be. So, what order would we like to go in with that?
It doesn't matter. I like to introduce, and Satterley. I was like, I practiced that name the other day. After the, occupancy tax notices went out, we've had some people begin reaching out that we were not aware of, and she's one, and she's going to introduce her place to us today.
Great. Well, first of all, I'd just like to say thank you for having me, and it's a
treat to meet all of you. My name's Ann Satterley, and this is two of our guest books. And I just want to read what we wrote, and this is our second guest book. And it says, "Welcome to our home. It is our hope that you experience a sense of peace while visiting and leave feeling renewed and refreshed in joy." And that's our purpose, really, for our property. Just a little backstory. At first, I was going to say, does anybody?
Yeah, pass them out so they can
I
see.
have one right here.
I think they got some out of here,
Okay.
so if you have any extra, we'll put them back
There
in.
you go. Okay, great. Just a 2-minute backstory. My husband was with Shell, I know I told Patty this in Rose, with 35 years, and the weekend he retired, he's like, let's buy a camper and go see all the national parks. And I was like, well, let's think about that for a little while. And anyway, so he bought a camper, we bought a camper that weekend, and we camped at Bogachitta State Park. And we were thinking, well, it'd be fun to have a little piece of property to play on anyway. So we kind of drove around Washington Parish and found this house. Well, we weren't looking for a house actually. And called the realtor, and she said the owner hasn't been there for 2 years. It's been on and off the market. And we drove on it, and it was like, at least to my husband, the skies opened up and angels started singing, and I was starting to panic because I thought we're supposed to be simplifying, and we just bought a camper to go see everywhere. Anyway, Buddy Clessy is the original owner's name, and he was in his late 80s and early 90s and was looking to sell his property. He originally had 120 acres and started selling off pieces. So after 3 months of working with him, because he had so much sweat equity, it's such a beautiful piece of property, we bought it. And then we found, and also I always add, and this is just how I talk, we're a family of faith. And I had a brother in the ministry. I have a son who lives right off of Martin Luther King Boulevard in New Orleans. He's raising my 5 grandchildren there, and he's a pastor right in the middle of New Orleans. And so, and I'm from New Orleans, so is my husband, so we know the craziness of New Orleans. So I always, in the back of my mind, thought, I would love to have a place to share with other people. And that was really, but when God brought us to that house, I thought, well, not right now. Like, I don't want it right now, Lord. I meant like down the road after we go see the national parks and whatnot. But as you know, his timing is different from our timing. So we ended up buying it, and then we found all sorts of surprises in the walls, and it turned into a 6-month renovation. And but we hung in there, and we stayed there. It was so refreshing for our family, and then we started renting it out in 2017. And I was telling Kim, I think I drove up here, like I think I looked up Washington Parish Tourism Council, but I think I drove, were they always in this building? Because I came up here.
At that time, yeah.
Okay, but it must have been on a day it was closed or something, I don't know. And then I just kind of forgot about it because we got so busy, and it wasn't until we advertised a couple of times in Country Roads magazine, and so I get it in the mail now, and I saw y'all listed in the back, and I thought, wow, I need to contact them. So, but it's been a real blessing to us. We advertise on VRBO and Airbnb, and we sleep 9 to 10 actually, and we've just had all sorts of people come. We've had the Willows has sent us families that stay there. We've had girls that come with their friends just to hang out. We've had people from all over. We've had grandparents in North Carolina who meet their adult children at our house and stay for a week. And then just this week, my children have 2 in Texas that I keep trying to pull back to Louisiana, and they are coming, and my son and his children and wife are coming. So we'll spend the week over there. So it's been a joy and a pleasure, and I just wanted y'all to know we were there. So because our heart really is to share it with other people.
That's awesome.
So,
That's
anybody have any
Yeah.
questions?
Is that like a bed and breakfast, or that's
Just
It's just a house on,
okay?
on
Okay.
property.
Yeah.
So I meet, the difference is, I guess, a lot of people own Airbnb properties and they never see their guests or anything.
Mhm.
So and we're in town most of the time, so I always meet the people there. During COVID, which we were packed for 2 years. I gave people the option, of course, so, and then if they say, we'd rather just get them, that's fine, but usually, because it's an older home and it's kinda quirky, you can't run both coffee makers at the same time, or you trip a breaker, you know, that kind of thing. And it's such a big piece of property that people appreciate me meeting them there, and I show them around for 10 minutes, and then they have my cell phone, so we talk back and forth.
That's very great.
So exactly where it
We're off of Sanders Road. The easiest way to tell you, you could, is to go down 16
Going to Amy.
to Amy.
to Amy. Juno's, Dollar General
Yes.
is on the, there's on a corner
Right.
with a light. You take a right on 450.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So you're going north on 450, but you have to go about a quarter of a mile and you take a right on the Sanders Road. It's the first right off of 450. And you go about a mile. And we're on the right.
She
All
has
right.
invited us for a visit,
Yes.
so we will have to schedule
Yes.
that.
It's hard to tell exactly, you know, from a brochure. So, I would love for y'all to come out and see it and just see what we have to offer.
And your brochure looks nice.
So, well, thank you. So I would love, and my husband, one day I saw him with a tractor and I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm getting a load of sand, we're putting a beach in. So we have a little beach and we have 2 kids' kayaks, a canoe, a paddle boat, all sorts of things. And, you know, volleyball, cornhole, a pool table, a ping pong table, lots of things you can still be together, but, you know, not be on
You
top of
can
each
actually
other.
come, enjoy, and not even leave.
Have
Have a whole weekend.
People are really sad to leave, it's funny, and, we have, I think, 173 5-star reviews on
That's good.
VRBO and Airbnb, so, our biggest fight right now, it's not a fight actually, cause God's in control, is a motocross track's trying to go in on 16, so, they've permitted that, and most of our we're outside 80% of the time, and so it's literally just sounds like it's right there, so we've appealed that decision and we'll see what happens. So, anyway, but we're there, you know, we gave the whole thing to God and it's kind of his house and his
Yeah.
property. So anyway, that's,
You
yeah,
say,
questions?
you say your son is a pastor in
He
New
is.
Orleans?
He is.
What church is that?
It's Antioch Nola. It's a church that was started about 6 years ago. So,
New church.
they started it in their house and then they moved to, they were allowed to meet at Booker T. Washington High School. So they were kind of a mobile church and they met there once and then COVID hit. So then we met, I think back on this, in a boxing ring. And so that, as I watched my grandchildren crawl around on the boxing ring floor, I was thinking, okay. And, anyway, and now they meet, they're renting a church on Galvez Street, that is no longer meeting as a church. So they're thrilled. So they have all their stuff there. So,
That's awesome.
yeah, so anyway, so that's us. So I would love for y'all to schedule something to come out and visit us.
Well, Ann, we thank you, and as I told you the other day when I just happened to be here,
I know.
and you came in, I said, there's an old saying that I picked up from a pastor that we had that said, nothing just happened. So, I mean, it was just a blessing for me to be here to see the excitement that came from you. And
Thank
true
you.
enough, everybody that I've talked to since that day did not know anything about this jewel that we have here in
I
Washington
know.
Parish.
Well, and I've had so many people come up and say, I never knew Washington Parish was this beautiful.
Right.
Because the minute they're coming up, especially from New Orleans, it starts to roll, you know, and we are thrilled to be able to share just the beauty of Washington Parish. So I appreciate you saying that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I did want to show this little picture that one of the families that comes every year. They brought paints and their daughter left me this from Izzy to Miss Ann. And it's the reflection of the oak tree and the pond.
Aw,
And
that's
so
pretty.
I have it sitting on a key hook up there. So, anyway, I just wanted to share that.
Thank you.
That's nice.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming, we appreciate it.
I'll sneak out much, I'll get to your meeting.
Okay. Do you all wanna go next, or? Okay.
It's fine, 'cause I've got 7 boxes in the car, so I'm here for the duration anyway. So anyway.
That's right, you brought our brochures, right.
My name's Nick Gagliano with the Gagliano Group, and we work with Patty on the brochure for Washington Parish. But a little background on us. I'm the owner of a marketing and public relations firm in Hammond. We do a lot of work in tourism with Tangibo Parish, with the Gumbo Group, and now we're working with, there's a group that got together, 5 counties in Mississippi that border the Louisiana line. So we're doing a lot of work with them. It's called the Scenic River Development Alliance, and so as we're doing cooperative endeavors, we're going to do some cross-marketing of getting the Mississippi people to come here, us going up to the Mississippi area. So you'll be seeing more of that in the upcoming future there. But anyway, what I want to do first off is to hand out the brochures that we just produced, and then talk a little bit. When I talked with Patty about 2 weeks ago when we delivered these, she wanted me to just come and give a little bit of overview of what my impressions of the direction and everything like that of what's going on in Washington Parish. And what I told Patty and like to share with the commission is that in the last year and a half, I think that Washington Parish has elevated their prestige in the state. And so when we were at Livingston Parish, they had a tourism kickoff for Tourism Week. The Lieutenant Governor was there, and he talked about the Bogachit of Washington Parish, about how everybody needs to come here. And then 2 days later, I heard him on WWL in New Orleans talking about Washington Parish again. So word's getting out about Washington Parish. And so with that, and I'm talk with Patty when she does the Gumbo Group, which are 11 parishes throughout the southeast region, and we work with the marketing with them. We do their Facebook, their social media, the cookbook, and their website. And so Patty said, well, just come and just give a little overview. So I'm going to give you a few comments. You could take them for what it is, but they're all positive, nothing wrong with that. And so if nothing that Patty said, oh, can you tell them this? This is just my observations to give to you. Is first off, I think your website and social media are very, very good. And I think Patty's doing a good job in her group that she has working with them to put that together. I think it's a good representation of what you do offer. I think that there's many opportunities to come visit now between Bogalusa and Franklinton with the different festivals and events. I think there's a lot of energy going on. Now, in my opinion, and like I said, this is not her, she's listed as an office manager. And when we come together with the Gumbo Group, with everybody there, it would be my recommendation, if y'all consider it, is just maybe changing the title to executive director, because she's doing the work of an executive director with all these other tourist commission. I think by just having the title of office manager, it just doesn't give her the, I'm gonna say, the prestige of the work she truly does on behalf of the commission there. So that's just one recommendation. The other thing is, I think as we go forward, is like right now your email is WP tour at bellsouth.net. That just doesn't have is it a fly-by-night group or what, who's really in charge? So I would recommend going to having whatever it is, whether it's Patty at WashingtonParishTourism.com, whatever it is, just kind of spend a little, and it's only like maybe about $30, $35 a year to get a Microsoft Word email address that would reflect what you're doing on the commission as well. And then lastly, I think it's time for you guys to take a look at your logo as well. I think it served you well, but I think it needs to be upgraded to a little bit more professional, a little bit more modern of what it looks like. And so I just think that's something that as a commission needs to look into that as we move forward with the marketing of the parish as well. So it's been good. It just needs to, as you look at the other logos, it just needs to be kind of updated a little bit. You got so much to offer, still incorporate some of the elements, but just kind of modernize it a little bit as well. We also talked about the Torific. When we marked like Tangibo Parish, we came up with crossroads of Louisiana. And the reason why we did that, when somebody's looking at Tangibo Parish, they don't know where Tangibo Parish is. It could be Tensas, it could be Calcasieu, it could be Caddo. But when we branded it as Crossroads of Louisiana with the 2 interstates, it kind of gave them a proximity of where they are in their minds. They may not know exactly where it is, but they kind of know that it's at the crossroads right there. Same thing with the Torific. You may not know exactly, but if you know where a toe is, you kind of get a general idea of the connection of why it's called Torific and the toe of Louisiana. So I don't think it's a negative. If it was the heel of Louisiana, then you go, that's a heel. It may not be as positive, but everybody likes toes. So anyway, but that's just kind of, I don't have a problem with calling it Torific or the toe of Louisiana, because it does give a geographical location of where you are without a negative connotation. So with that, that's all I had, just wanted to come by and say hello, thank you for the opportunity, let's do the brochure for you. Like I said, we've got some boxes in there, so now she's got the job of getting 10,000 brochures to people and getting 100,000 people to come in, so anyway, just thank you, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to share any information or any ideas or suggestions that you may have.
And when I was talking with Patty the other day about the brochures, whenever some of us go out of town, it may be a good idea to take them and leave them at some, the hotels we stay at or somewhere so that they'll be out there.
I thought it turned out great.
Right.
Yeah, it looks real good.
Right.
It's real good.
And like I said, I guess I'm just partial to our terrific because as a teacher, when I taught about Louisiana and our parish, Washington Parish, it was easy for me to get my students to recognize where their parish was by saying it's in the big toe.
Right.
So,
And then on the back, we kinda had that
right, I
parish
like
coming
that, I
out of
like
Louisiana,
that.
just to kinda give it a little bit more of a, and those are for people out of the area, to kinda give it more
Right.
of an exact location of where it is.
Yeah, well, actually, that's what caught my eye when I looked at it. Terrific, and I said, okay, let me see what else is in here. So, a teacher too, thinking about what's gonna be catchy, and it is. I think it's gonna cause. And I'm not a member of UOC. I'm just.
But you're
a resident. Washington Parish.
You're a
You're a
resident.
member of Washington Parish, so you'll remember.
Okay, all right.
And one of the things that when I came on board, whatever years ago, was to say that living here in Washington Parish, you can consider yourself a tourist as well.
Okay.
Because just like what just happened here with our presentation from Ann, I would go and be a tourist there any day
Me
when I get my
too.
coins together.
So what would be some recommendations from you for our logo?
I think the logo is take some of the elements that make the parish unique. You've got the river, you've got the pine trees, you've got the rolling hills, the watermelon. And so I think that would be just kind of incorporate that into a cleaner, more modern look. So that, and I also would like, if we do a logo to get input from the commission and from some other people as far as just what kind of,
Can you at this point then kind of present to us some ideas
Sure.
that we might can go on?
we'll do that, do a little rough estimate and everything, so that's not a problem. We do it
This
all the
this
time.
finance person, we looking at
Yeah.
dollars now.
No, I understand. And the way we work, we look for long-term relationships, so it's not like we wanna make all our money on the
Okay.
front end. We wanna be fairly compensated, but we're in it for the long term as well.
We're
and I
not
think our
we're not
costs-
asking to pull your eyeballs
Right, I
out,
understand, I
but
understand.
we are asking to be.
Just a few eyelashes, I understand.
Or we could always have a contest, artist in town, draw up something for us. and
Well, I
have a
think that's
contest.
where he's wanting to get us on the professional
Professional level.
level.
Okay.
Our current one was produced
Understandable.
by one of our local
Really?
artists.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
And not that it's not professional, but
But it's time we are moving forward,
We're
taking
growing.
those steps, and
Right.
then we took baby steps,
Oh,
and
yeah.
now.
So
I think-
it's
I think
kind
you
of
could-
hard to print this off with something big because of all the colors
Oh,
on
the
it.
colors.
Right, if you
Okay.
did it for a logo for your shirt or something like that, it gets
Yeah.
really busy and really,
Yeah.
those lines tend
Okay, I
to
see what you're
close a little
saying.
bit.
Makes sense then.
We
I
appreciate
understand.
And last thing is that when we were doing the brochure, the problem that we had is now you're starting to have more events that we have room for. And so really we had to kind of pick and choose of what was a good reflection of the parish as well. So I think that's kudos to everybody working hard. And I know when you're in tourism, the local people say, oh, there's nothing for us to do. But when you're from the outside going, oh, there's a lot to do. So that's the other thing, is hit the happy medium of letting the local people know what you're doing, but also attracting people to come here and stay and spend their money and tax dollars here. So.
That's it.
Ladies, do we need to make a motion for him to submit some proposals?
Okay, we can
Or
do it
some-
at this time, or we can put it into the regular business, it doesn't matter. Okay, can I get a motion to, ask that we allow the Gagliano group to submit some, a bidding form?
Sure.
Can I get a motion?
I so know.
Can I get a second?
A second.
Okay, we would like to put it to our vote, our roll call.
Cynthia,
Yes.
Ella,
Yes,
Tanya,
Yes.
and Crystal.
Yes.
yes. So it has been put into a motion and, second, and roll call was done to allow Mr. Gagliano's group to give us a bid for updating our logo. Do I need to take it any further than that?
As far as we can go.
Okay.
Yes, sure.
Okay, I'd
It
like
is
to
open
just
to
say
public.
something, speaking as a person who has a place here. We have a notebook, a farm notebook that has some brochures in it. And on our website, there's a guide, and I have to tell you, I've been kind of at a loss as to what kind of, and so I am thrilled.
You be
To
sure and
have
take
this.
these with you to
Yes.
put in your building today.
And so I can put everything on here on the guide, and
Mhm.
so people can say, oh, there's a lot to do around there. And also Patty had a great idea for me, is that to have like little gift bags.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I
Right.
make pralines if I have time, sometimes I don't. But anyway, for people to take with them who are staying at our place, that I can fill with all sorts of things, from tubing to all sorts of things. Yeah, so anyway, so I'm thrilled as a business.
Well, we have boxes.
We got boxes of them, so
We'll
don't
give her,
run
we'll give her
out.
a
Yeah.
handy
I
dandy
There you go.
packet
Right.
in it. You
Yeah.
don't have to worry about them sliding in your car, so.
I know where you are now too. So anyway, as the business owner here, I'm thrilled to have
To have
this.
something, yes.
And what I'll do is at your next meeting, I'll have a presentation and show you at the next meeting, so that'll give us enough time if that's okay
Yeah.
for the
That'll be good.
July meeting.
All right, okay, so that brings us to our next guest. Ready? Okay.
Are you just
That's it.
visiting?
I'm a part of the
Okay, you're part of the
board, and so I'm
Watermelon
with
Festival.
Familiar.
So it's
Pastor
yes.
Warren, yes.
Okay.
Thanks for inviting me here for this meeting this morning. My name is Jerome Warren Sr. I'm the pastor of the Great Hayes Creek Baptist Church up in Warnerton, almost out of Washington Parish, but we're still here. I've been there about 26 years, pastored in New Orleans about 15 years, and I've been recently made the president of the Watermelon Festival here in Washington Parish. We have some of our executive group here, directors with us, Ms. Ola McGee and Mr. Brian Petoni, and my dear wife, Mary Bolton Warren. She's over the vendors, and we thank God that we are here this morning. We are excited about this rejuvenation, reorganization of this Watermelon Festival. I think we've been about 3 years in the reorganization. The vision Mayor Rout had, he had came to Mr. Talley and myself and others to reorganize, revamp, and to restructure the Watermelon Festival here in Washington Parish. So we got it off the ground. We got it off with excitement. It took a couple of years before we did, but we got it off the ground. But let me give you a little history of this Watermelon Festival. It started way back in 1985. And the last one was in 2004. And it was called the Washington Parish Watermelon Festival Fruit and Vegetables Association Corporation. This is what it's called now, this is what it is back then. And we founded, we reorganized it in August of 22. And we had a great success so far, but we need to go forward a little bit further. And we thank God for the Tourist Organization Commissions to push this thing further out. Because now I do know that the watermelon go far as from here to Michigan. They want trailer loads of watermelons. The best texture, tasting, sweetest watermelons around the region. So I'm excited about it because I am a farmer myself besides a pastor. My wife and I, we owns a farm up there in Warnerton, call it J&M Farms. And we're out there laboring, sweating, but we love what we're doing. And we have a few melons and also vegetables and other things there in that garden besides grass. But nevertheless, we thank God for Mr. Jacob P. Talley. He's ill now. He was the reorganizing president and done a great job. He hit the road. He did all the footwork. He did all the legal works. And then he was stricken with cancer, but he's still fighting and pressing forward. So he done a great job. And so they put me as vice president. and I'm supposed to be pastoring and ministering, and here I am peddling watermelons. I love it. I love every bit. I've been excited about watermelons ever since I was a kid, just to see something like that grow to something huge. And so in the festival that we have, they're at the fairground. At the fairground, we have lots of things that are going on, activities there. We have auctions of watermelons, different varieties of watermelons, different weights and sizes. That's one. The next thing, we take the seeds also. We auction them off, we eat them, and we spit seeds. We have a seed spitting contest, and it is fun. It's a great thing. We have lots of arts and crafts that the vendors brings in, great food that they bring in. We also have rodeos that goes on there, which will be on Friday night. Also, Saturday night, I'm sorry. Saturday night, we also have fireworks that the mayor's office brings in, and also it is one of the greatest fireworks that I've seen. I haven't seen many now. But listening and watching TV and parades they have and these fireworks, I think we compete with those up in New York and wherever. We have a great fireworks display going on. People sit on their trucks, sit outside, just standing up looking, and it's awesome. So we want to promote all of this. We have these things that are going on, even greasing the pig. Now, it's a hard thing just to catch a pig, but when you put grease on a pig, you probably won't catch that pig. We have lots of things going on. So we have gospel singing and preaching on Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. I can't forget that because I'm the preacher. So nevertheless, we invite you all to come out and to help us to promote this watermelon festival. It's the greatest that I know that is going on right now. And I thank you for the time that you have given me to push this watermelon festival. Thank you.
All right. I would just like to add to Pastor Warren's excitement. There was one time that Patty and I went to one of our conferences, and we bagged up some watermelon seeds that we got from the Corps, and we made a display, and that was one of the first things that left our display table, was the bag of watermelon seeds. And we had our Washington Parish watermelon little background there, festival background there. We had like a slice of ceramic, I think it was, watermelon. I think that's part of the display up there. And we had 3 of those slices. We came back with 2. but anyway, the people were so excited because they thought, we can grow a watermelon from this? It was like, yes, you can, you know. But so I am so excited to see the Watermelon Festival getting revamped and growing and moving forward. And I am also looking forward to one of the best fireworks shows, because I've been telling people, as I said, I went to a retired teachers meeting in Hammond on Tuesday, and I was telling everybody there, you know, you can see a free fireworks show. Come, you know, come, bring your grandchildren, come and see it. So that's what we have to, you know, do by word of mouth. But I'm also going to ask if there's any way that you all can get a flyer, whether it's computerized made. It won't be, you know, maybe one like this, but maybe to even get it out for her to put in her place of business for people that are coming through from out of town.
The state park.
Right, and at the state park and all of that, so that the people that are coming through may want to come back in July to our Watermelon Festival. And that is bringing in tourism and more money.
Because
as well.
they can't have fireworks at the state park.
Right,
And
right.
so they would come.
They would come, most definitely.
There needs to be something that shows that we have it.
Right.
This is what we offer.
Right, because a lot of people, you know, won't know about it, you know, so.
We're having our secretary to type up and get some of these brochures out
Okay,
to various businesses and wherever they need to be,
Well, good.
even here.
right, most definitely,
Yeah.
most definitely.
And also, the most important thing I did not say,
Okay,
it starts on the 11th to the 13th of July.
right, but you will, like I said, but you will see that on our website as well.
And I did, out of our funds, I have printed 2 banners
Okay.
that are advertising mainly the fireworks show
Mhm.
that night.
Mhm.
And I don't know, maybe put one here coming into town and maybe one at the state park area, you know, out that way, but I have 2 banners made.
Great.
Because everybody, I don't care how much we think we're publicizing it, somebody, somewhere, it's gonna hit a Facebook page that says what's going on at the fairgrounds this
Right.
weekend, and I'm like, well, I don't know, or I didn't know there was a fireworks show. I mean, advertising costs major bucks,
Yes.
and I don't know, other than word of mouth and that kind of thing, even how they let our locals know that there's always something going on. It's a continual struggle to let everybody know things that are going on.
When
So
did you say it was?
11th through the 13th, July.
11th, okay, 11th.
Yeah, cause I personally find out things after the fact by looking at Facebook and going, I didn't know that was going on this weekend, I missed it.
Mhm. Well, we also have a parade starting that Friday at 9 a.m.
Saturday morning.
Saturday morning.
Yes.
Saturday morning.
At 9 a.m. starting from the industrial park out here. They line up, they get ready, they move out, and they head to the fairground. So we're having that also. Part of.
So it would be, good because, in our fair association meeting, it has been brought to the fair association's attention that, you know, a lot of times things are going on at the fairgrounds that
Hey, we were in a
people don't know anything about, and so they end up asking those residents
Okay,
that's
yes,
right
thank you.
there, what's going on here? So it might be a good idea to just put something at the entrance of the fairgrounds. So that
Yes, we have banners that are being made right now.
Yeah.
We're gonna
so-
place banners from every intersection of major highways,
Mhm.
16 to 25.
Yeah, so
Right
that,
at the
you know,
fairground.
that just
also.
came up at our fair association meeting this past month, so
Yes,
that would be, yeah, a good thing to do. Cause they're trying to get us to buy a big sign now. Keep it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, thank you.
And I will say, this month's terrific spotlight is the Washington Parish Watermelon Festival that we promoted on the Facebook page. And if you go to the Washington Parish Tourism website, that's the first feed that pops up is the Watermelon Festival and the program of events on the Facebook, on the webpage.
Yeah, we all, most of us that has a Facebook, we always share also whatever the tourism shares on our Facebook, so it gets it out there.
Awesome.
Anything else from,
Any questions?
any questions?
Is it typically always the second weekend in July, is that the date? Or is it gonna move?
It moves.
Okay,
Last year we had it right after the 4th of July,
okay.
but this time we moved it over, starting at the 11th, a week after.
And see,
typically-
that's another thing that you may want to think about.
Moving.
No, keeping.
Keeping it at the
The
same
same
time.
second
Yeah.
weekend.
Because, you know, it pretty much, people just kinda associate it with that time of the year.
Like they do the fair.
Like,
The fair is
yeah,
third
so,
Like we all
I mean,
know
you
when
know,
the fair
that's just an
starts.
idea.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you.
That, like, it's that second week in July,
Mhm.
you know, no matter what
We
the
know we
date
gotta have a
is, it's
watermelon
the
Yeah,
second
the
week in
date
June.
may, the
Mhm.
date itself may change, but that's that weekend.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Very much in consideration.
All right, okay, I think we covered everybody, okay, all right. I think that's all, but not telling anybody to leave, you can sit through the rest of this if you like.
She's like, I'll see y'all later.
Okay, all right, well, we
I
just gonna
love
pause
you
a
all,
minute.
but I'm gonna have to
Thank you for
go.
coming.
Okay, all right.
Enjoy.
Thank you, no, thank you all so much for coming.
Thank you. Nice to meet
You all
you.
are.
How you doing?
Good to see
I know.
So good to see you.
Good to see you.
Now, like we use it with the fair poster. I was gonna tell y'all, if you don't,
Today,
I
not
have one and I'll can donate it to you if you want it. Just give it to me. I have one in my office.
Y'all have a good morning.
Downtown Realty. I'll give it.
We had a meeting.
Next
meeting, yes.
Ellen.
Yeah, okay, I'll get with them and make sure I bring them out here so y'all.
Take care.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Nice meeting you.
Y'all women shows who in control.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay, call a little order back, just wanna check, did Mark say he was on his way or we didn't?
No, I
Okay,
would say
well, we're gonna
keep
go
going.
on.
No, I apologize, I completely forgot, completely.
You completely gonna get a spanking.
Okay, good.
No.
I probably need several.
And we're gonna make sure we give her
Okay,
some
well-
of these, cause she's always traveling.
Oh, yes.
Look, I did a big promotion at a
You'll
rally.
have to tell
that I
us
did.
about
I will,
that
I'll
when
tell
we
you.
get to the
Okay,
quick,
sorry.
yeah.
Okay, okay, well, we're going to add to our members present here now, Miss Edna Kennedy, so that, that will be on record. And if I'm correct, we are at number 5, our financial report for May 2025.
The checking account balance is $50,156.52 according to the bank statement at the end of May. And if you will look at the report itself, you will see a deposit of $28,291.56. That was the Hancock Bank CD that we transferred into that fund in
Let me go get that paperwork.
an effort to help cover our spending while we're waiting for reimbursement of that 85,000 that we got. And the 85,000 is not all shown on this statement, but pretty much it's all been spent. And you can see the disbursements there for the month on those. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and read them to
Right.
you. If you have any questions on what was particularly spent for each item or what it was, I'll be glad to explain that to you. Some of the new promotional items have been coming in, and I've got a few in display on a table in the back there, but we should be good with promotional items now, as events come up that we have something to send. And we along with brochures and some items to actually give away.
Did we do the Washington Parish Free Fair, I'm sorry, two donations or just one?
It was two,
Okay.
two, because one was allocated to the fair itself.
Okay,
The other one was allocated specifically to the revamping of the playground,
oh, okay, good.
where the other one was pretty much
Just
open
we
for them
needed,
to do.
It
Yeah,
needed
it
it
needed
very
it.
badly,
It
so I'm so
does.
glad we was
Okay.
able to do something
Me
like
too.
that.
Am I overlooking the one for the?
They may
Watermelon
not-
Festival?
They haven't all cleared. These are only
Oh,
those
the
that are
ones that
cleared
are
for the
cleared.
March,
Gotcha.
from March
Okay.
the 30th, yes. Through March the 30th.
Gotcha,
The next one will be huge.
gotcha.
The next one will be huge. But these are the only ones that have cleared from March the 30th statement on that.
All right.
Nay.
From May, I'm sorry,
From May.
from May the 30th.
Okay, are there any other?
You should have called me.
And it just so happened that right after the next meeting, that CD come up where we could do it without a penalty, and so that made it, and I felt like that was enough to allow me enough cushion that we could keep spending and spend that money without anything from that.
Okay. All right, so, everybody's had an opportunity. Cynthia, I don't know if you probably was looking at it while we were sitting there, but do you have any, questions about our statement here, summary from May? You good? Okay. All right, I need to get a motion, for approval of the financial statement.
I make a motion to approve it.
Okay, motion made by
Second.
Edna, second by Cynthia, that we approve the financial statement, and we get a roll call.
Cynthia,
Yes.
Ella,
Yes,
Edna,
Yes.
Tanya,
Yes.
and Crystal.
Yes.
okay, motion accepted for, and by vote that we accept the approval of the financial statement. Okay, we're moving right along to our old business, and, the first thing listed there is, updates on our occupancy tax.
Just summarizing what's happened since the passing of the resolution. The notices were sent out from the sheriff's department, and as you can see, that has opened up an accolade of people reaching out to us as we're trying to reach out to them at the same way. I received lots of emails, lots of phone calls, and because I didn't want to get my feet trampled on or say the wrong thing, I actually reached back out to our attorney, Nicole Fry, as to if I were to answer the questions, or, you know, who was to be answering the questions. And she advised me, to send everybody that asked a copy of our resolution, and to actually also put our resolution and our corporate endeavor on the website so that we could direct questions to that. But if there were specific legal questions or tax questions, that they were to address those to the sheriff's department, because they are the official tax collector, and I am not the tax collector. So like I said, there have been several questions as to, is this the first time, how can you prove this, and that type of thing, and I said I will send you a copy of the resolution, and then you address your questions to the sheriff's department itself for those answers. It is effective July the 1st, meaning starting July the 1st, visitors that are staying in overnight facilities will be charged the occupancy tax. With that, I also addressed, the department at the sheriff's department as to if it was part of my duty to keep them abreast of all the areas that should be collecting the taxes. She felt like they pretty much had a handle on it. It's just as new places come aware that maybe they're not aware of and that we're aware of, that I just keep her abreast of new things. But I think everybody is having to go through them already for taxes and whatever else anyway. That if people are operating businesses legally as they should be, they will be aware of the occupancy tax. Also in state legislation, I get a notice from the state level. Like I said, we're just getting on board with the occupancy tax. And Nick, you might know a little bit about this as well. Just in this legislative period, there was a new legislative law that passed. I guess there's been some controversy in the past of who is going to collect the occupancy tax. And they actually passed that if you had an Airbnb or a rental or any of those properties that's listed on those online places, that those agencies that are over that online place actually has to collect that occupancy tax. So I think that kind of covers us. Where before it's like people were asking, well, who's going to collect it? That rental place is going to collect it, then they're going to pay it to the sheriff's department. So
how
I
much
like,
is it?
it's 3%, it's 3%.
We're at
I
the
couldn't remember.
bottom
Thank
of
you.
whatever it is, 3%.
3%, and then there were several agencies that of course went through legislation and theirs got upped, where like I said, we're just starting, so,
We have to put that to a public
right,
vote. So
right, so like I said, I think we're blessed to be starting with where we're at, and let's see what we can do with what funds that we get.
Yes.
And it's the platforms that collect the tax. So Airbnb collects it, so this lady, Ms. Satterley, she doesn't have to write a check to the Tourist Commission. They just, part of their fees that not absorb, but they're charged. So then Airbnb remits it to the sheriff's office. So that way, you're not chasing Airbnb people down.
Right, and I think that came from tourism was failing to, we didn't know where to get the money from, so they just nipped that out, that it goes through the Airbnb or whatever site is hosting that has to collect those fees. So that's kind of, and we did get a invoice from the attorney. Surprisingly, it was a little over $8,000. I was pleased with that figure, and yes, and with that, knowing that we were allowed umbrella,
A grace period.
a grace period to pay that, after we started collecting the tax in the later months, so,
That's nice.
That-
She
that
was
was
very good.
very-
That was
Yeah.
what she
Please.
presented on
Yeah,
her
well
she
own.
was
presented, yeah.
She was very good.
Yes.
And so with that, I'll go straight on into the manager's report that is,
And that's under your new business.
under the, new business. Manager's report just showing, since we met the last time, I did present, on behalf of the Watermelon Festival, the checks for the fireworks show. I did, attend the Balloon Festival as we were, one of the sponsors for the Saturday night concert. I also attended, the Renaissance Studio, that is a new opening in Bogalusa, by Melinda White, where they're doing artist and music lessons and art type things, and it's gonna have a coffee shop next door.
It's really nice.
It's really a nice place,
Yeah.
so I went to that. Coming up in June, like I said, was the Balloon Festival itself. We had a gumbo meeting group where I went to visit Baton Rouge, and I also participated in the Ascension Parish Fam Tour for the Tourism Commission. And like I said, everywhere I go, y'all know I'm watching what everybody else does and saying, well, we can do that too. There, the Ascension Parish hosted, the surrounding directors from the parish, as well as some state level tourism folks. They rented a 15-passenger van, and we pretty much took a driving tour of Ascension Parish. We did get out at a couple of places to go inside. We had lunch at the homeless house. But I was hearing from those folks the same thing that we're hearing here. I didn't know this was here. I didn't know this was here. And they actually had some of their hotel workers on board, and the hotel workers were so excited because they said now when guest says what can we do or where can we go, they know somewhere to send some folks. And so with that, I'm like, well, we can do a VIP tour here, take ourselves around, invite some folks to go with us, and we can do the driving tour as well, going to the places that are in the area where we've heard of them, but we haven't put our eyes on them of what they actually look like.
Right.
So I think, moving forward, that's an idea for us to
That's a good idea.
pick a day, and all they were out, the expense was the van and the meal for the day. And everywhere they went, everybody was so excited to welcome everybody and share their products or share their place, because it was an advertisement for Ascension Parish. So like I said, I thought that was, I was stunned at the people that were from Ascension Parish that were riding on the shuttle as well, hadn't been to their own home places. And we have that here as well.
Yes, most definitely.
I have, like I said, I'm continually doing the reimbursement so that we can keep getting, reimbursement for the funds. I did do up to the 5th reimbursement, and now I should only be finishing up the last reimbursement at the end of June. There was the videographer in town all day Saturday as part of the gumbo group. Everett Langloy was here. He was here from the balloon launch Saturday morning. He spent all day in we went to the Bochetta State Park. He went to Varnado Store Museum. He then headed out toward Enid and hit some of the river spots out there. He came back to the Queen's luncheon that they had there, and then he was back that night doing the glow thing. And so with that will be part of the Gumbo's promotion, but he's also will be able to work with us because he's already collected video.
Okay.
So if we wanted him to make us a Washington Parish small video clip, we don't have to pay him again to come get video. He's already got the video, and all we've got to do is pay him, the services to do that. Coming up, the Washington Parish magazine this is to be printed again. It's the new year for that, so there's a full page ad for that. And also the mountain bike festival coming up the first weekend in October. Y'all remember I went last year and set up, and I told you I thought I was the only person from Washington Parish out there. They're doing that, this is the 5th or I don't know, maybe even be the 7th one, I don't know. $1,000 sponsorship for that, and with that, the logo will go on the back of their t-shirts. And I have them on my phone, I can share them later. But remember, as part of the Zona sponsorship, we were to get a banner and a sign. I do have some pictures, and I went and found the t-shirt because I wanted to make sure that they had it up, and they did. So that was of that. Do y'all want to do a motion on the magazine ad and the mountain bike festival?
I think we need to make sure that it's in our records.
Okay.
Okay, can we get a motion? Can I need to put them separately, I guess,
No.
or we can put them together for
Just call them
sponsorship and advertising?
sponsorships and advertising.
Okay, I need to get a motion to allow us to continue with the sponsorship and advertisement of the Washington Parish Magazine and the Mountain Bike Festival.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion. Can I get a second?
A second.
Okay, I have a second motion by Cynthia, second by Tanya, that we can. Crystal. You're gonna be Crystal Tanya today, okay. By Crystal, to continue the sponsorship and the advertisement for the Washington Parish Magazine full page and the Mountain Bike Festival of $1,000. Can I get a roll call for that?
Cynthia,
Yes.
Ella,
Yes.
Edna,
Yes.
Tanya,
Yes.
Crystal.
Yes.
Okay, so it's been so moved and accepted that we continue with that sponsorship for the advertisement of the Washington Parish Magazine and the Mountain Bike Festival. Okay? And it will
Upcoming
continue.
events, Watermelon Festival with the fireworks July the 12th. I will take the tent up for that Saturday afternoon and set up our Washington Parish tourism tent so we can set up a display under there. And as part of our loot, I ordered some glow wands, and I thought that would be nice to give out. I will have to limit it to like children under the age of 5 or
Right.
whatever for them to have at the Watermelon Festival, and it has Terrific printed on that. The Louisiana Travel Summit is coming up August the 26th through the 28th, and it is in Lake Charles this year. And before you leave today, let me know if you're in or not, because there is a registration. There's a discount if we register before July the 1st. So I want to
where's
kind of
this
get
at? In
that
Lake Charles?
registration in today.
And that's in Lake Charles?
It's at Lake Charles. It's the 26th through the 28th. I already have booked 3 rooms because they've probably all gone by now. Because when I booked, it was already off, and I had to go through the hotel to get rooms. So what they had booked off for the conference is probably already gone. But I've booked 3 rooms. Can always maybe try to add one or either take one off if we don't need it. I have heard a little bit the Blues Festival may or may not be back on the calendar for this year, but no one's reached out for me. And then you see the dates for the Mountain Bike Festival. And I will probably plan to go set up out there because that is nothing but visitors out there that day. And then the fair, I have filled out not the sponsorship, but the commercial building booth for that. And again, they're allowing us to set up in there without the charge, and we've got the same little corner spot again for the Washington Parish Fair. And then you see what was from the gumbo meeting. Tico is still working on some things. I've had lots of folks reach out, of course, wanting to, everybody is marketing for them to come video and whatever, but we'll take all that as it comes. And then our next meeting date is going to be July the 18th, 2025. And that's all I have.
Anybody with any questions with anything in the upcoming events and what has been presented in the manager's report?
Just one thing, when I met with Patty for the Washington Parish Magazine, what I'd like to do is go ahead and lay the ad out so it's start to have some consistency with the brochure. And so we'll just do that as part of doing the logo, doing the brochure.
brochures,
So, yeah,
okay.
so you know, that way you can see our work, and we'll get that for you.
Okay, great.
Thank you. All right, anything else on the manager's report? Okay, I need to get a motion to accept our manager's report.
I'll make a motion to accept it.
Okay, motion by Edna. Can I get a second? Okay, second by Cynthia. Okay, it has been moved and, motion and second, that we accept the manager's report that was presented. And Patty, I wanna thank you for all that we've done, you've done with that, because I know under the occupancy tax thing that we've been doing to just keep the regular going.
Yes.
It's been, you know,
And I was gonna
don't know where
say,
you hide your
if
roller
Nick
skates.
is
Okay.
going to have us some samples of some new logos as a sponsorship for the bike festival, and to put it on that shirt, put that new logo on the back of that bike festival shirt would be,
Something we can start
something
out
we
with,
can start
right.
on too. I don't know what the deadline he has to have for the shirts, but that's not till October, but I would think we would have time to
Yeah,
get
we
that
have
done
finalized by then.
by then, so that we have because I know on the Zona Nights t-shirts, he grayed everything.
Yeah.
Because it was so many colors, so it was just multiple shades of gray on that logo. Because you can't print 15 colors on
Right.
the
Yeah.
logo, yeah.
Yeah, cause I think we probably had about 4 or 5 shades of blue.
Yeah.
4 or 5 different shades of blue.
And something else that Mr. Gagliano mentioned was about the changing of Patty's, you know,
Yeah, I
staff.
was getting
Do we
ready
need to
ask
make a
that.
motion for that, or
And I
just?
think, yeah, that's what I was gonna say, Crystal,
Okay,
we
so
on the
let-
same page, because,
That's gonna come up right there.
probably, we can do that here, because now we're not under the umbrella of having to go to parish government and asking anything. So,
I make a motion for changing of Patty's status from office manager to executive director.
I second it.
Okay,
alright.
I have received a motion that we change the name of Patty's position from office manager to office director.
Executive director.
Executive, excuse me, executive, do I need to spell that? Executive director
Executive director of Washington.
of Washington Parish Tourism here
Alright.
in Washington Parish. The motion has been made, it has been seconded. Can we get a roll call?
Cynthia,
Yes.
Ella,
Yes.
Tanya,
Yes.
Crystal,
Yes.
and Edna.
Yes.
Yes, it has been motioned, second, and accepted that Patty's title will be changed to Executive Director of Washington Parish Tourism. Okay?
Do you hear
Or
me?
the other thing is, he also mentioned about changing the email address. How do you go about doing that?
I will check with Ellen, who is our web
I was
as
about
our
to
web
say she
page,
would have to
and
do with that and
see what that involves, and
Yeah, cause it's on our.
right,
Right.
and it could be that things can be forwarded
Yeah,
from
right.
one to
So
the
if
other.
somebody has it already in their email favorites or whatever,
Mhm.
it'll just be forwarded
just be
to
forwarded
the
to the
new
new
email,
email.
so that way you don't lose any, you don't have,
Contacts
yeah,
or whatever.
so like basically going forward, you would use it, but anybody has their contacts, it would still be forwarded, so
Still be
the web
forwarded. I
person.
will check on that.
All right, let me find my spot here. So was that, covering our other concerns? Do we have any
think so.
other concerns?
I was gonna say,
Hold on.
don't, Cynthia, I'm gonna need your signature. I was gonna say, just sharing, I sent, itinerary to Nick, is doing the one day itinerary, that's for the webpage, so I sent that over. This was the ad that was in the,
That country roads?
the country roads. And we may work with Nick, we're scheduled for one for the fair, for the October one. So like I said, if we wanna do some consistency forward, you know, instead of us just having somebody create and run us something, to have some consistency forward in this next, one, you know, have the new logo and whatever we're gonna go.
Will you be able to meet the deadline?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. We'll check on that and see. And like I said, I'm getting proposals every day from somebody wanting to come and help guide us and whatever, but I think we've got some guidance
got a
here.
guide.
We've got some guidance
Got a
right
guide.
here without paying somebody from Arizona to come, or Arkansas to come spend $20,000 of our dollars to do something when we've got somebody that can personally make a visit with us. I think that makes a difference in moving forward.
Right.
So I think that's about all I've got.
Okay, I think we have covered our public comments, unless, do you have anything that you would like to add?
No, everything's went well. It was wonderful to hear from the Watermelon Festival and the Ann over here. It was, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea. So, but it's great to get that information out.
Right, and you'll be able to take it back to,
I will,
yes, yes.
to chamber.
To the chamber, appreciate that, okay.
Sure.
All right, the announcements statement there,
I'll tell you, I did, went to an RV rally in Indiana, and Patty was instrumental in helping me gather some goodies, and actually the Louisiana Tourism Commission furnished the canvas bag, so Louisiana was spotlighted, and we had some Washington Parish stuff, and and so I did a big advertisement. We did have a visitor from that rally that came last month to the Bocachilla State Park. So hopefully we'll get some more. And I did a big, they did a fundraiser for canines for the military. I forget the exact name of the group, but we did it was an auction, and the members of the rally were asked to bring something to auction, and I did a big, it was like an ice bucket full of Louisiana stuff, like gumbo mix and jambalaya and goodies from the Tourism Commission. And so it represented Louisiana and Washington Parish well.
thank you, Edna, thank you.
It's fun.
That's
On the road
awesome.
again.
Where are you headed to next?
Out west for 2 months.
2 months.
All right, really, really, really appreciate that,
Maybe I should bring some Louisiana stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, our next meeting again has been announced as Friday, July 18th at 10 o'clock. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So
Crystal made the motion, Cynthia second. I just had to get Crystal's name right this time. Okay, so let's put it in as that, okay? So we have a motion to adjourn. Our meeting is adjourned.